Hey, listen to Cookout Podcast, episode 361. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to continue the arc of your favorite decks by talking about a super popular archetype. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole ton is going down. We're drinking post-St. Patty's Day beers. We're going to talk about the hot topic in Magic today. We got another great deck sent in by one of our good friends from the nation to talk about. Before we get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, their source for all your gaming needs.
Oh, very much so. And clearing my throat already, getting over the post-convention sickness, which is not what you think, but it is what I think. Every damn time I go to one of these events, I get strep throat. It's just the way that my throat is formed. Don't Google that. But at the event, we're talking about Face Fest Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Hung out with the business daddies a little bit at Fusion and made sure that we provided packs to all the CCO Experience Vancouver attendees.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Packs that you used promo code CCO Slam on to save 5%.
Yep. And now that we're not there anymore, I can finally let the cat out of the bag. I also used promo code CCO Slam in person by threatening to CCO Slam one of the guys if they didn't give me my discount.
Oh, very excellent.
And then the business daddy boss man was like, yeah, it's okay. He's
he's
just a little weird. He's fine.
The actual business daddy.
Yeah.
The owner of Fusion. His name's Rich. Good guy. I sat down with him, had a really good talk about some future CCO merch. And it's frickin' nice.
It's cool.
Yeah, like high end. It made me feel good to know that this could potentially be a thing that we do, because I know that people will like it.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah,
I like knowing
cool.
people will like things.
And I like working with Fusion for that reason. And I've said it in the past, they're open to all of our crazy ideas and things that we want. They're like, hey, let's talk about that.
No, let's actually
tell me what that means.
Instead of being like, no. They're like,
well, exactly.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Exactly. I don't know if we'd see the return out of it or whatever. It's like, hey, tell me about that.
Like, have you met us?
And
there's always a return.
And that's why we like working with Fusion, and that's why you should go there and use CCO Slam or CCO Perks promo code if you're going to spend more than $100.
Yeah.
Which is like $20 American these days.
Yeah, right?
And you get 10% store kickback on your order. Store credit goes right into your account after you make the order.
And then you can use
takes
it
a couple
again.
days, actually. I shouldn't say right in, but it
happens.
But it takes a couple days, goes in, and then you can use that store credit for future purchases that you can use CCO Slam promo code on.
Perfect.
Yeah. Everybody wins, and everybody is happy. We talked about the CCO experience.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, so fun.
It was the best. Like, we talked about it last week as if it was going to be fun, even though we hadn't done it yet. But now that we've actually done it in really real life, fantastic.
Yeah, it turned out that the Airbnb I booked was a little bit smaller than the pictures looked like, so it was quite an intimate experience.
Yeah, but we made it work.
But there was myself and you.
Yep.
Our good friend Keel from Regina Hole.
Yeah, I like that guy.
And mother asking Keel put beer away, hey?
Right?
I know. Oh. I'm like, Keel, go to bed. I'm so sick. I'm like, dude, I'm so tired. I'm so sick. Right? And these guys are up. They're like, we have to drink every beer in the house so they don't go to waste.
And we did.
And you did.
Yes.
So you, Keel, myself, Kayla, who is brand new to Magic and barely dropped a game playing a pre-con.
Yeah,
she's like pretty much a professional gamer.
Yeah, she beat lots of people.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Yep. And then our good friends AA Ron and AA Me from Seattle along with Kayla.
Yep.
And super fun to spend the weekend.
And our new boy, the consigliere of the nation.
Oh, and David. Yeah. David left early. That's why I didn't count him. I was counting everybody that was there on the last night.
I call him D-Hole.
D-Hole was there and had to leave early because he had a sick kid. So hopefully that's all taken care of.
Get well soon, younger D-Hole.
Yes, younger Hole.
Future consigliere to the nation, yes.
Yeah. And luckily, it was pretty far, but it was walking distance from the convention, which was right on Cole Harbor, which is the big harbor that when you see aerial shots of Vancouver with like the sail looking like harbor where you get on cruise ships.
Yeah.
That's where we were.
It was cool. We saw some of those big barges that have the sea can things in them. I never seen one of those in real life, and they're really big.
Man, they are big.
I knew that they were big, but I didn't know they were that big. And I saw the ocean for the very first time.
Yep.
And for those of you who've been asking, and there have been more than a couple, no, I didn't get to physically touch the water. Yes, I did pee in it.
Oh,
yep, peed right off the pier.
Didn't even see that part.
I was very sneaky.
That is freaking funny.
Yeah, I made sure I got that in there.
But have you ever peed inside a convention center, not in the bathroom?
I mean, not yet.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I totally didn't do that either.
Give me time. Give me time.
Yeah. Give me Minneapolis, and I will raise you peeing indoors.
Yeah, that is the next CCO experience. Get at us on the Discord or not on the Discord if you want to be involved. Spots, I think, are filled or filling really quick.
Yeah, so here's the thing. We offer, of course, the CCO experience to the Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast because it is the best way that we can thank our friends and supporters and audience people and people from all over the country and the continent, right? Like
and not to foster FOMO, but it's also the best way to experience a Magic convention.
I think so. But we do like to drink and stay up late, party, eat Doritos Hot Cool Ranch.
Oh yeah. Go to board game cafes where they have like the hot rock pizza ovens and get pasta instead of pizza. I did that. And I ate a lot of tacos, and I got married to the taco girl, but we decided to call it quits once I came home.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually told her that you got married.
Yeah,
to her.
That was only I knew that.
Here's a piece of CCO trivia. The first time that Brando and I ever both saw the same human and both agreed that we thought that human was very attractive happened in Vancouver this weekend.
Yes, it did.
The taco lady.
The taco girl.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. She's a great lady. I wish I could remember the name of the thing. It's a SoCal taco chain, but it was very good.
Oh, yeah.
Super good. I forget what the name of the thing is. Oh, man.
Chaotic Tacos?
Chaotic Taco?
No, that wasn't it. Frick.
People in SoCal, they get it.
Whatever.
You guys get it.
It's a taco place.
Yeah, and Drake and Lenny and Steven are laughing, yelling. They're saying things.
Yeah. So Vancouver was fantastic. Minneapolis is happening on May. We're going 4 to 8 because we have to fly on Thursday, but it's the 5th to the 7th. That's Friday.
Spend the night in Toronto.
No, we're going to spend the night in Seattle.
Okay.
No, we're going to spend the night in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
we're just going to book the house for 4 days.
Okay.
That's the other reason that I'm looking for a nice, like a good place, is you and me and Smitty are flying out of Saskatoon, and nearly everybody else who's attending the house is interested in Thursday night as well.
Okay.
And it's not a Magic night that night, so maybe that's the night we either get food ordered or catered, or that's the night we go out for supper, or whatever. And I mentioned I mentioned it before. The Vancouver trip is on commandercookout.com. There is a donate option. If you know anybody who's going, like if you're in the Discord, for example, and you go into the CCO Experience Minneapolis channel and you see the people that are going, and if you want to buy any of them a beer, there's a donate button, and you can send me a message, DM or Twitter or Facebook Messenger, wherever you got me. Send me a message and tell me who you're buying a beer for when you donate, and we can make that happen.
Oh, fun. That's cool.
Super funny. Great way to support the show, your friends, CCO Experience. All of that's fantastic.
And if you're local to Minneapolis and know about like a super sweet arcade bar, given that there's no Magic that day or night, Ryan has no reason to keep me from going. And I will convince him and everybody else in the house to go with me, and we're going to have fun, because fun is the name of the game.
I hate fun.
He does, but I make
what am I? You?
I force fun on him all the time. When we're flying, fun.
Nope.
When we're in a place, fun. He's like, no, I have to work.
You had me at bar though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See?
You had me at bar.
Yeah, arcade bar. Got him.
Yeah.
Got him. So we're gonna do that. You want to talk about some Magic shit?
Well, we got a little bit more podcast
stuff.
business. We got a new patron, and we got last week's winner.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, what do you want to start with?
Let's do last week's winner.
Last week's winner. Okay. Lots of people got it wrong last week.
Oh.
So many people got it wrong, I don't even know what it is.
We tripped you up, sucker.
Yeah, so I have a winner who we played with in Vancouver, actually.
Oh, shit.
So that's why this guy won. He bought a hat. He bought the last hat, actually, so now I got to make more. So if you're in for CCO hats, you check out the store. There's going to be more hats. We're going to get them, multiple different kinds. Oliver Yap. I also picked it because it's the funniest freaking last name. And I only knew his name was Oliver. Had I known his last name was freaking Yap.
Oliver Yap.
Oliver Yap.
Oliver Yap.
Don't Google that.
No,
Oliver
no.
Yap.
Yeah, that's a... No.
Is that like WAP except for Yap?
No, it's got there's expired yogurt. It's bad. Just don't even do it.
Are we talking about the same thing?
You think we are?
Okay.
Yes.
Oliver Yap, you get at us, commandercookout@gmail.com. Brando, tell him how to win.
You get a hold of us at commandercookout@gmail.com. Let us know who you are, that you won, and where we can find you, meaning your mailing address, including your zip or postal code.
Postal code, he's from Vancouver.
Well, yeah, right. Postal codes. That's like 3 numbers and 3 letters in some kind of order. Send them to us. Let us know if you want a CCO sticker pack, token pack, or a lame-ass pack of regular Magic cards. I don't know why anybody would want that, but you can have that if you want. And make sure that you're you and you are not pretending to be him, because then you're going to ruin it for everybody.
Yes.
Nobody wants that.
Oliver's a good dude, though.
Yeah, he seems fun.
I knew
7 out of 10 at best.
I knew he scumbagged us with Galve, Guru of Spores.
What a POS.
But I knew he was going to scumbag us, and I told the other 2 players.
I bet you said no combos in this deck.
No, he certainly did not say that.
Super slow deck.
Nope.
Totally casual. Built it in the car on the way over here.
No, first turn plays a dual land, second turn fetch land, dual land, third turn dual land. I'm like, okay.
Well,
I played the one Soul Sister that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, they lose a life.
Right.
And he's playing Gave, make infinite Saprolings .deck.
Right.
And he's like, frick, how do I win? Held him at bay for turn over turn over turn over turn. And he's like, man, I can't win. I'm playing a deck that also couldn't frickin' win. Big surprise.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to the other 2 players, like, we got to get him. Gank him. Get that thing. And I had... Atomic Distinguished Advocate or whatever where lands can't be the target of spells or abilities, and I have them on like Squirrel Nest, where you enchant your land to tap it to give you a squirrel,
right?
And I'm like, no Squirrel Nest for you, right? Because he had an Earthcraft or something out. I think that was that game, Squirrel Nest Earthcraft combo, right?
Right.
And I'm like, no, not today, Atomic. And whenever you get a guy, you lose a life, so you're not comboing. Turns out all my guys got wrathed and he won.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah,
there's tons of fun.
Sounds like
tons of fun
Gave.
because it actually, even though you're playing a combo deck, if you've got the right pieces or removal to stop what they're doing, turns out it was still a fun game.
Yeah, stuff them.
And when you're gank them,
yeah,
and when you're not playing with pieces of trash humans, then it's still fun because you enjoy each other's company.
Yep.
Speaking of enjoying company, we have a new patron.
Ooh.
Whom we enjoy their company.
Do we?
I don't know.
We might. I don't know this person.
Pseudo-celebrity. Somebody's brother. Somebody very famous.
Okay.
You may know him.
Okay.
Canadian.
Oh.
And or serial killer.
Ooh.
Michael Myers' brother.
Oh.
Andrew Myers.
Andrew Myers. Call him an Andrew Myers Wiener.
Andrew Myers Wiener, welcome to CCO Nation. It's not very often that a nickname hits right on the first swing.
That was fun. I like that.
Andrew Myers Wiener.
Andrew Myers Wiener. I like that.
Welcome. Thank you. And, of course...
F you.
F you. Yeah, very much so. Final piece of business. If you're not watching on YouTube...
You should be! Fucking do it!
I wonder if Joe left you green the whole time. Actual final piece of business.
Okay.
I don't have a CCO Experience Vancouver recap video because on Saturday I started to feel really frickin' terrible. So I just stopped taking pictures and stopped filming the random stuff that we did. I got video from Friday night and like pictures of games on Saturday morning because we had like a content creator booth. With the Wizards of the North and
Zbex.
And Zbex, I was going to say Wizards of the North, and they had a cosplayer with them. So they're both trying to do their content thing and have a cosplayer, and Zbex was there, and Commander Cookout was there with
big time.
6 or 7 people with CCO shirts. And the place was packed, right? Like the content tables were full of games the whole time.
It's very cool.
So I was planning on capturing all of that along with the open flippy antics or walking through the ghetto to get to our Airbnb, but it slipped because I just started to feel like ass.
Yeah, you were feeling shitty.
Like a hot, sweaty Magic player's ass.
Yeah, and had you mentioned it like on the way there, I probably would have like backfilled for you. But once I'm there, you can't put new things on.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm too flighty.
I totally had full intentions of doing it all.
Yep.
And then I was like, ooh, man,
this is not good.
Kind of tired.
Yep.
Kind of feel like it's like I'm going through menopause.
It's the 11th inning.
Hot, cold. Got home, fever. It's like 40.
Dang.
Had a fever so long, got a rash.
Shit.
Yeah. Gross.
Oh, check out this transition. You know what has people up in a rash? Lord of the Rings, baby.
Oh.
Yeah,
baby.
Yeah, we're gonna. Everybody's like, oh my god, are these Nancy's gonna talk about this? Are these NIMBYs gonna talk about?
I've been talking about it for hours on the CCO live streams on Friday.
And now
you should tune in.
Your boy is gonna talk. We're gonna talk about Aragorn right here, right now.
Oh no.
And you should be watching on YouTube because you got to see the picture. And we're going to talk about colors, and we're going to talk about people being mad.
Uh-oh.
Because people are mad.
People are you're getting under people's skin.
Yeah, here we go.
Are you going where I think you're going, or are you going somewhere totally else?
I'm going where everybody should be going. Ready for this? Okay, so you look at the picture. If you're watching YouTube, you're seeing the picture.
I'm a little bit scared.
You're seeing Orwin. Arwen. I don't care what her name is. And she's
Arwen's ugly sister, Orwen.
And she's holding Aragorn back from like getting into a big fight, right? Because she's like, oh man, no, holding you back. But like Aragorn doesn't look like he's mad.
No,
he doesn't look like he's gonna beat a fool. But still, she's holding him back. And I'm like, why doesn't he look angry if she's holding him back? And it turns out that's not what's happening in the picture. They're holding hands. But you can't tell that because Aragorn's glove is the same color as his goddamn shirt, and they should have given him a different colored glove. You got millions of dollars invested in this, Wizards. You could have done better.
I'm looking it up now.
His damn glove is the same color as his shirt. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I've been waiting like a week to get that off my chest. I've been so pissed about that. I am upset, and I think that they should change it. They should change it so that the art makes more sense.
He's fancy.
Fancy guy. And if he's so fancy, he can afford to get a glove that's a different color than his shirt. Because you know what? Middle-earth, many different colors of gloves, and all are equally as good.
Yep.
Well.
I love a good diversity of glove.
Me too.
I love wearing two different colored gloves sometimes.
Hells yeah.
I love Eiffel Towering with gloves of different color.
Long as your hands are warm. Gloves.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to make a hand warm joke, but I'm just going to leave that one.
Yeah, just leave that there.
I'm going to leave that one.
Yeah, I got that off my chest. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my TED Talk. Shall we talk about...
talk. Always wear gloves in the nation, too. Just FYI.
Yeah. You never know where anything's been.
No, especially not in frickin' the part of Vancouver we were in.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that
buddy.
much.
It was very fancy and very unfancy, like
all at the same time
from the like different sides of the street.
Yes,
which was really neat. Downtown Vancouver was so cool. It was like one of my very first like big city downtown experience. I had a great time. Great time. But that's another story for another day.
Speaking of great time, we've got a deck.
Yeah, we do.
By one Mr. David Hodge. I think his name is Hodgeskin.
Yeah, Hodgeskin.
Oh, gross. And it's Tuvasa the Sunlit.
Yep.
1/1 Merfolk Shaman for blue, white, green. Tuvasa the Sunlit gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. Whenever you cast your first enchantment each turn, draw a card.
Neat.
Yeah, so flash enchantments are rewarded, of course, because you can draw cards on multiple turns. But usually in Tuvasa, you're playing pump enchantments and or enchantresses that also draw you a card when you play an enchantment. That's how I've seen it.
Yep.
And
In this deck, we're doing lots of that.
I've seen go wide Tuvasa decks and go tall Tuvasa decks with like one guy that gets big, or Voltron, or enchantments. When they ETB, they give you like tokens, and then people play anthems to pump all those tokens.
Yep.
So I want to say lots of different ways, but you can play Enchantress tokens, go wide, Enchantress go tall, Voltron or aggro or whatever. And I've also even seen traditional Enchantress where it sets up all of the different lock pieces like solitary confinement and
Pillow forting out the wazoo.
Yeah, ghostly prison propaganda, collective restraint, which is the same thing but for colors of or basic lands you control.
Yep.
Try finding that in foil. Ooh.
I won't.
No, it's an invasion foil, so you can guess what the multiplier is. At least 15x.
It's lots. Yeah.
So, cool deck. David Hodgkin, we're going to get into it, and you tell me that there's a reason.
There is a reason why I'm picking this deck, and we're going to, when you hear about the deck, you'll be like, why are they talking about this on the show? But it's going to make sense because I'm going to explain it right after we flip over to cards.
Sure.
Okay, so we're on cards now. Why did we pick this deck? Because you read the write-up that we were sent.
Yep.
And this is one of our boys' earliest decks. It started off as a pre-con. It's the pre-con that came with the Enchantress that you play.
Estrid the Bald.
Estrid the Bald.
That was 2019 or 2020? 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
And wasn't a big fan, switched it to Tuvasa.
Oh, no, see, 18. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. It's 18.
All good. And he just loves the deck. And this deck is basically what you'd expect out of a Tuvasa deck. It's an Enchantress deck, very popular archetype. And there are some neat little throw-ins here. There's 0 artifacts in it.
Ooh.
Which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Mine plays artifacts, and now I don't want it to.
And he leans kind of heavily on some like just neat commander-centric cards, which we'll talk about later on in the list. But it's just I think that it's one of those things that shows that, yes, you can play that deck. You can play that deck in that archetype, and you can have it just be fun, and it can be your thing. It can be a deck you'll always want, and not because it's tuned and pimped and built to beat ass, but because it's the kind of game you like to play. And I think this is a really good example of it. It doesn't have to be quirky and have a crazy... What's that deck? What's the Murica build that we did with Arkslogger? Arkslogger. It doesn't even have to Arkslogger combo, everybody. Mm-hmm. It can just be a go tall Voltron Tuvasa list.
Yep.
And it can be your favorite deck, and it's super cool because you're passionate about it, and that's what makes it neat.
You know what that whole monologue reminded me of is my Lord of Tressorhorn deck, where it's really, unless it does the one thing that it kills you when it infects you for 10 all at once, it's really bad because all the creatures are actually bad, right? They're all just shitty guys that I like to put together to try to do something good, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what this deck is, but it's something that I'm passionate about. Like, what is the arrangement of not powerful things that if I get 99 of them together, it does something powerful. And I think that is such a cool challenge.
Yeah.
That maybe we'll see some of when we look at this deck.
Yeah, we're going to see some neat stuff. Now,
no artifacts, you say?
Not a single one.
Can we start with the ramp?
Well, here's the thing. This is a deck stats list. So members of the nation, I think this is one of like 3 deck stats lists we've ever done on the show. And I'm not exactly sure how it works. Ryan and my screens that we're looking at are starkly different.
Yes.
And I'm not sure exactly how to navigate this without missing things. So Ryan will pick the sections. I will find the section on my screen, and we're going to go that way.
Okay.
So let's start with some ramp, because we got some neat stuff.
Yes.
There's actually some cool stuff in here.
When you have to go outside of artifacts to find ramp, I love that. I do that in Animar. I find creatures or I find land enchantments.
Yeah.
And that's what I do in my Estrid the Bald list is land enchantments.
Land enchantments.
Instead of putting my Enchantress, draw a card when I cast an enchantment. In the command zone, I put untap all your enchanted things in the command zone, and I enchant all my lands. So I get land untap every turn. So it's like a mana doubler, really.
And we're going to start with a backup commander / land in the ramp section with Erixmathes, the Slumbering Isle.
Oh man, I wish this was an enchantment so bad. This is a 4-drop. And it's kind of a 12-12, but it's not. It ETBs with 5 slumber counters on it. And as long as it has a slumber counter on it, it's a land and not a creature.
Ooh.
So kind of like how the enchantment gods work.
Yeah.
Where when they're on the battlefield and you don't have devotion to them, they're just an enchantment.
Yep.
This is just a land. It's funny because when you bounce it or on the stack, it's a creature.
Yeah. It's
What?
weird. Yeah.
So anyways, whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from it. When you remove the last one, it becomes a creature. Also, you can tap it to add green-blue.
Neat.
Yeah, and when it's a land, if I enchant it with our next card, Dawn's Reflection,
Yeah.
I don't have to remove those slumber counters. So I can enchant it with a Dawn's Reflection for 4. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 2 of any combination of colors. So then a Rixsmithies would tap for 4.
Wow.
Ooh, I've spent 8 mana, but all I have to do is tap it twice, and I've made my 8 mana back.
That's pretty good. Also, I didn't realize that a Rixsmithies was a May on the remove a counter.
Yes.
You could just let him sleep.
Oh, and you let them sleep at 1 all the time because, like, oh yeah, you're tapped out, and then you go, oh yeah, freaking force a will your thing for free.
Yeah.
Remove my counter, hit you for 12. You didn't even see it coming. Oh, Rixsmithies is a badass.
I wish he was a turtle. That's the Dungeons and Dragons player in me. I wish that he was an island turtle instead of just a big sea monster.
Oh, like the turtle with the city of Midas on his back or whatever, like on Aladdin 3?
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then we got an exploration.
That's playing extra land.
We got fertile ground,
That makes a land tap for an additional 1 mana? Yeah.
growth spiral.
Ooh. Draw a card. You can put an additional land onto the battlefield.
We call that Simic here in the nation.
Yes, not play. So you could do this on an opponent's turn because it's an instant, mind you.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Mirari's Wake.
Mana doubler +1 giver. I play that in mine as well.
Now, here's a question for you that's about lore. Is the Mirari, does it have anything to do with the Phyrexian saga, really? Or was it a different story?
Different story.
Okay. Noble Hierarch.
I'm sure that you could draw a connection as to why it was like the main thing that was the main thing in the Odyssey story arc. I'm sure you could draw a connection to the land, to Dominaria, to the Phyrexians. I'm sure there is something there, but it's a different story.
Yeah. Because the story here is it sucked me right in. No story in Magic has actually sucked me in this hard in a long time.
Like the Odyssey story arc?
The Phyrexian one. And so now I'm looking for drops of oil in every
other connections.
Right? Like I want to see it because there were Phyrexian kind of things in other sets.
Yes.
But like that was before like
you know
the
where you
story
should
happened.
You know where you
it's
should
neat.
look. You know where you should look in Ixalan. There's a card called Fountain of Ichor.
Yeah.
Right? Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a nugget there,
it was
I think.
it was a hint.
Those dinosaurs are in for some frickin' trouble.
Nah, they'll
Can you imagine Phyrexian dinosaurs?
I think we're gonna see him in the next
Man,
set.
It's all gone to shit, isn't it?
Phyrexosaurs. We're in Tyrannosaurus Phyrex. Noble Hierarch is our next card.
That's a mana dork. Taps for Bant colors got exalted.
Overgrowth and Wild Growth. I think those are probably...
Yeah, Overgrowth, enchanted land. When it taps, you get green in addition, and Wild Growth gives you 1 green.
Yeah, in addition.
Yeah, so that's 9 ramp spells.
Not a single artifact.
It's tough to say that a Rixsmithies is ramp. It's hard to say that Exploration is ramp like mid-game when you might not have lands in your hand.
Yeah, but
they get you out to an early Tuvasa, which would, like, Enchantress for 3 in your command zone that lets you draw cards does feed that Exploration.
Man, Exploration can be can be a beating.
And Exploration is an enchantment itself. So if you have a couple Enchantresses and it's like turn 3 or 4 and you draw your Exploration, you go Exploration, draw 3 cards, play a land.
Yeah.
That counts.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that counts.
That's very good. Let me tell one quick game story.
Sure.
I brought my Landfall Stacks deck along just in case I played with some members of the nation that just were willing to let me keep trying it out to see if it's fun.
Yep.
And I had the nuts opening hand. It was like land, exploration, land, next turn, Crucible of Worlds, land. Like turn 3, I think it was Maria and Winter Orb. So everybody's just fucked. and
just
just
tapped.
destroyed. And like I played every single basic land out of my deck and had 500 Scoot Swarms. There's a picture of it on my Twitter.
Nice.
And it's like I had this huge board state. Everybody else had jack shit. I'm like, Brando, how are you gonna kill us? And on the board I had 300 Scoot Swarms. A Sensei's Divining Top, and the top card of my library, because you could see it, because I also had an Oracle of Moldiah, Altar of the Brood.
Ooh.
So everybody knew it was coming. And I had a fetch land that I
That's
hadn't
the
fetched
mill
with yet.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if you attack? I'm just going to fog you. I found a fog with my thing. It's like, cool. I'm going to...
Altar of the Brood, crack my fetch land, get a land, get 900 more Scoot Swarms, everybody mill 900.
Exactly. Like,
yes.
Oh,
Oh,
it was good.
That'll do, pig.
It was good. And then,
That'll
and Keel was so mad because I stacked him so hard. Where should we go in next?
That's CCO Brando on Twitter. If
Yes.
Anybody isn't aware, I want to quickly go to recursion, planeswalkers, removal, protection, whatever you find first, I guess, because those are all like common things that people are gonna want to hear about.
We're looking at Planeswalkers.
Sure, we got two.
You got Narset, Parter of Veils.
That's each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn.
Ooh, greasy.
The more casual you go, the less good this card gets. Mm-hmm. So that's just an opinion that I have of observations I've made. Because I play this in Cascade Super Friends.
I happen to agree with that.
Yep, and it's got a -2 that where you look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a non-creature, non-land from among them, put it into your hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order.
And you're going to get several of those.
Yep.
Nico Anus.
Nico Anus is blue, white, X, 3 loyalty, Planeswalker Nico. When it enters the battlefield, create X shard tokens.
Shard.
Their enchantments with 2 sacrifices enchantment, scry 1, then draw a card.
Neat.
That's actually good. And if you have enchantment ETB things, like Constellation on your things,
Sure.
that's good. +1, up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. That's pretty good. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to anything, return it to its owner's hand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, if I'm going to kill somebody with Tuvasa, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Right. And -1, Nico Anus deals 2 damage to target tapped creature for each card you've drawn this turn. Very powerful.
Yep.
Enchantment, draw 3 plus my 1 I drew. Your guy's going to take 8.
Yeah.
That's good. And then -1, create a shard token.
So Nico Anus creates a shard token.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
that.
they thought that through.
No, they did not. Those are our Planeswalkers. They hit some removal.
Sure.
Because there's some pretty
We can go fast here.
yeah.
Everybody knows what these are.
Bant Charm.
That destroys an artifact, creature on top of its library, or counters a spell.
Beast Within.
Kills a thing, gives the controller a 3/3.
Rift.
Bounce a thing or bounce everything.
Dismantling Blow.
Oh, man, I love getting blown. Destroy an enchantment, and if it was kicked, draw 2 cards.
Rex Age.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Rex Age, ETBs, kills a thing.
Soul Snare.
Snow Snare.
Snow Snare.
Like my dad's friend Snow Snake.
That's right.
Man, I haven't made that joke in a good long time.
Well, we haven't played Soul Snare in a long time.
Snow Snare.
Snow
You mean.
Snare.
This is an enchantment version of the card Condemn, right?
Yep.
It's an enchantment for white. You can pay white, sacrifice Snow Snare, exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. Oh, but they don't gain life.
Better Condemn.
Yeah.
We have Tear Ass Till Dawn.
That is a giant elephant that when it ETBs, you destroy 3 things, and those 3 things as controllers get elephants.
And Winds of Wrath.
Destroy all creatures that are not enchanted. They can't be regenerated.
How many people know what regenerated even means anymore? Hey?
Oh, yeah. Indestructible and tap it.
Get bent.
That's essentially the same thing.
It is.
You know what? Regenerate did very much come up because it removes all damage from stuff
Yeah.
and taps it, but does not make it indestructible.
That's right.
So something got regenerated,
And then you just killed it again.
And then the damage was removed from it. So then then somebody pyroclasmed or something. And then the thing didn't die. And I'm like, because the damage was removed from it when you regenerated it. Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was cool. And I think I was the only person that knew how it worked. Anyways.
All right, let's go to some of we're talking about removal. Let's talk about
Recursion.
Recursion? Okay, we're gonna do
Recursion, because it's quick. We've got a Hannah Ship's Navigator, which is a 3-drop 1/2 that you can pay 3, Azorius 1, and you return an artifact or enchantment to your hand from your graveyard.
Pretty cool.
Yep. We've got Retether. Return each aura card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Only creatures can be enchanted this way. So essentially, this gets all auras back.
And no curses, I guess, hey?
No.
Because curses attached to
yeah,
people.
exactly. So you get your enchantments and you get your enchant creatures.
And the last one in that section
you just get your enchant creatures.
Yep. And the last one is Silent Sentinel.
I don't remember this one.
It attacks, and you get an enchantment back
from
your graveyard to play.
4/6 flying Archon for 7.
For 7.
You attack and get your guy back. But if you're going to cast a lot of pumping stuff, you need a flyer.
And we're gonna.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about some hate.
Sure.
Because we have artifact hate.
Yep.
Starting with Null Rod on legs in Collector Oof.
That shuts off all artifacts.
No artifact abilities, period. Not even mana abilities.
Yeah, we're not playing any, which is good.
That's right.
Okay.
Not even things that make artifacts. Could play Smothering Tithe? Don't.
Oh, yeah, because you can't even sacrifice your treasure.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I love this card, and I wish I could play it more often. Energy Flux.
Enchantment for blue 2. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 2.
Cool. Neat.
That's Tabernacle of Pendril Vale for artifacts on an enchantment.
Yeah.
So it's not Tabernacle at all, but...
There's also Aura Flux, which does the same thing, but for enchantments. We're not playing that in this deck.
No, would not recommend.
Yeah, that would be very bad. So... this is a Voltron deck. We haven't got to any of the Voltron stuff yet, but we do have backup Voltrons in addition to Arixmethes. Should we talk about some of them?
In a quick second,
Graveyard Hate.
Just real quick, we've got Ground Seal, which ETBs draw a card, and cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities, and a Ravenous Slime, which it can't be blocked by smaller creatures, and if a creature an opponent controls would die, you exile and put a +1 counter equal to that creature's power on Ravenous Slime.
Now that is an ooze.
That's a good slime.
That is a good ooze, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and cut cards in other decks to play Ravenous Slime.
Yeah.
I like that.
I just wanted to get those out of the way here. Then we can talk about the beaters.
The beaters.
I love a good beater.
Let's talk about one of the cards that I get. When this card was printed, I got so frustrated with it because I kept forgetting exactly how it worked, and it's so good in the right deck.
Yeah, because it does everything.
It does.
It gets every place that you want it to get, right?
Yeah, it does everything.
Freaking F.U. Smitty plays this guy too.
Yeah. Bruna Light Alabaster.
Light of Alabaster.
I like what I said better. Light of Alabaster. Yeah, I like that better.
This freaking Bruna bastard.
Yeah.
Okay, 5/5 flying Vigilant Angel, blue, white, 3. When it when it attacks or blocks. Attacks or blocks. What the ass?
Yeah.
That's the part I always forget too.
Right?
What business do you have getting this ability when you block?
When you block.
I'm going to block your guy with my frickin' flyer that has vigilance that I just hit you with, and I did the thing.
Yeah.
You did the thing when you attacked already, and it's got vigilance?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does it when I block too. Yeah, F you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it attacks or blocks, you may attach to it any mother-ass number. Any number of auras on the battlefield, you may put onto the battlefield attack. Okay, frick, I got to read it again here. When Bruna Light of Alabaster attacks or blocks, you may attach to it any number of auras on the battlefield, and you may put onto the battlefield attached to it any number of aura cards that could enchant it from your graveyard and or your hand.
Yeah. And note that it doesn't say auras on the battlefield that you control. Note that it does not say that.
Wait a second, what?
Yeah.
Auras on the battlefield? What?
Yeah. Period. Now let's keep going with more things that Bruna does. This card is obscene.
You got to build around it.
But we did. We did in this deck. We did in this deck, so it's crazy.
Yeah, it does. It does more things than you think that it ought to do.
Yeah.
Just the way that the ability is written. But it costs 6 mana.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we got Heavenly Buttmaster.
3/6 flying double strike So it's like essentially a 6/6 when it attacks or blocks. For 6, when Heavenly Blade Master enters a battlefield, you may attach any number of auras and equipments you control to it.
Whoa.
Which we probably will.
Yep.
Do any of the things we have give haste? We're not playing Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot Boots. So.
We're not.
Other creatures you control get +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to Heavenly Blade Master.
Neat.
That's really good, actually. You know what? I would almost consider putting that as a secondary win con in my Estrid deck.
That's pretty good.
But I'm already playing Nylea's Colossus.
Yeah.
Where I go like enchantment, double its power, enchantment, double its power, enchantment, double its power. And then it's like, I don't know, take 56.
You die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this card. I love this. Hydra Omnivore.
8/8 for 6, Hydra.
Yeah.
When it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much that much damage to each other opponent.
What's the drawback, Ryan? Keep reading the card. Maybe there's a drawback to the 8/8 for 6.
The other game text on it after to each other opponent is 8/8.
Ryan, like, that's crazy.
Yep.
That card's insane. Now we're going to talk about some commander-centric
It doesn't
things.
have trample.
It doesn't have trample.
Doesn't have trample.
There's the drawback. That's the drawback.
Whoop-de-doo.
We got a Loyal Drake.
When if you control your commander, these all have lieutenant, these next 3, right? So at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, draw a card, 2/2 flying for 3.
Neat.
Good card.
Loyal Guardian.
At the beginning of combat, if you control your commander, put a +1 counter on each creature you control.
And
That's a freaking good one. I think is that the best one, or is Loyal Drake the best one?
depending. I think it depends on the deck.
Yeah, sure.
Loyal Unicorn.
Loyal Unicorn. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your command, you prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control this turn. Other creatures you control gain vigilance. And it has vigilance.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, those are good. I like those lieutenant cards.
Lieutenants is neat.
Yeah.
Where should we go to next on the deck, Ryan?
We got Protect. We got Enchantment payoffs. I don't know. It seems like there's lots left still.
Let's do the payoffs. These are easy.
Sure.
So all of these cards have some kind of variation of when an enchantment comes into play, do a thing.
Yeah.
We have a Johnny's Chosen.
Enchantment enters the battlefield. You get a 2/2 cat creature token. If the enchantment is an aura, you may attach it to that token. Sure.
Neat. All That Glitters.
+1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control.
Aura Gnarlid.
Oh, I play this one in my deck.
This is a good card.
Creatures with power less than Aura Gnarlid's power can't block it.
Yeah.
Ooh, so if it's a 10/10, not
Very
many
hard to
things
block.
Not very many things are 10/10s just kicking around the battlefield.
Yeah.
In my best estimation. Also, it gets +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield. So it's going to be a 10/10. It's a 2/2 natively.
I think he's kind of cute too.
Yeah, until he's frickin'
They tried to make him look scary, but I'd try and pet that. If I was in Magic World, I would try and pet this animal.
He will pet you with his fist.
Probably will.
Yes.
Eidolon of Blossoms.
Eidolon of the Bee. This is the constellation one that matters that you have enchantments entering the battlefield.
Yep.
Enchantment enters the battlefield. Draw a card.
Draw a card.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Enchantress's Presence.
That's an enchantment that says whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card. Important that it's on cast.
Yes.
Very important.
Herald of the Pantheon.
Herald, I play this one too. Enchantment spells cost 1 less whenever you cast an enchantment spell. Cast, mind you.
Yep.
Gain a life.
Neat. Kestia the Cultivator.
I don't play this one, but this was the third commander. Estrid the Bald, Tuvasa the Sunlit, and Kestia the Cultivator.
Note that we're not playing Estrid.
Yeah, with all the land enchantments in the ramp section, that would have been good.
But we're not. Heck it.
Heck 'em. This has Bestow. So it costs blue, white, green 1 for a 4/4 legendary enchantment creature nymph. Very important that it's an enchantment creature.
And that it's a nymph.
Yeah, probably addicted to something.
Yep.
Okay. 4/4. You can bestow it for blue, white, green 3. If you cast this card for its bestow cost, it's an aura. spell with enchant creature. It becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature.
Yeah, so if the creature it's attached to eats shit, then you get Kestia the Cultivator.
Then you just get a 4/4, yeah. And enchanted creature gets +4/+4.
Pretty good.
And whenever an enchanted creature or enchantment creature you control attacks, draw a card.
That's pretty good.
That's why this one's in Tuvasa, because Tuvasa wants to attack every turn.
Yeah.
And she only lets you draw one card for your first aura or enchantment. And then she'll let you draw another card when she attacks because she's going to be big.
Yes.
Yep.
Sigil of the Empty Throne. This is a good one.
Oh, yeah. I play this one too. This is a backup win con, right?
Yep.
5-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast an enchantment, you get a 4/4 angel creature token with flying.
Cool.
Yeah, that one is going to let you beat. A little bit hard to set up because it costs 5. Then you got to cast enchantments.
Yeah. We're going on a tangent. We're doing it. White. Do they have too many high-end setup cards where they have setup cards that are at the top of your curve? They have Sigil of the Empty Throne. There's that creature that you get a zombie whenever you play a creature. It's at 5/2. Like, there's so many things in white that are really, really cool.
5 and 6.
But they cost 5 and 6, and by the time you get there, because white is white, you're out of cards, and you can't abuse.
I think maybe people try to do too much in white, and they forget that having a lot of something small or more minor is a lot of the times just as good if the top of your curve is filled with things like Sigil of the Empty Throne and Cathar's Crusade. Because Sigil and Cathar's Crusade is like pretty good when you've got a bunch of 1 and 2 mana enchantments that you can run through your deck, like Wild Growth, draw 2 cards, put a guy, all my guys get bigger. Then 2 mana enchantment that pumps a guy, draws me 2 cards, gives me another guy,
makes all my guys
bigger, right? Like, I only need 1 or 2 of those high mana payoffs, and the rest of it can just be ramp spells and stuff, right? And I think that my enchantment deck is very much demonstrates that, because I play lots of the 1 and 2 mana, make your guy into a tree folk, make your guy into a piece of the moon, make your guy into an elk. Yep. And every time I do that, I draw 2 or 3 cards, and eventually I'm going to find Sigil of the Empty Throne for 5, and it's going to be like turn 8. I'm going to play a 1 mana removal enchantment spell, make an angel, enchant it with a thing. I've drawn 6 cards, now I have a 10/10, right? I only need 1 of those big payoffs. Mm-hmm. I just need to get other stuff out there.
Neat.
Yeah. That's what I think.
This last one here we see is how do I say this? An indicator of the dedication to the no artifact theme.
Oh.
Because this should be a Vidalcan Orrery, but that shit's an artifact. So
yep.
Get it out of here in exchange for Vernal Equinox.
Vernal Equinox. This is from Masks, right?
That's why I like it.
This is an enchantment for green 3, so it costs the same as Vidalcan Orrery in converted mana cost or mana value.
Less in money.
Hey, unless you want a foil. Maybe not though.
I do have a foil of this.
Vidalcan Orrery foils are expensive. Anyways, any player may cast an enchantment's... man, just going to do all this over again. Any player may cast creature and enchantment spells as though they had flash.
Neat.
Hey, I'll take it.
That's cool as hell.
That's cool.
How are we protecting ourselves? We'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Let's go through these quick because they all do the same thing.
We got Windborn Muse, Sphere of Safety, Propaganda, Ghostly Prison.
Those all involve you paying some amount of mana when you attack me.
Perfect.
That's it.
Now we'll get to the enchantments.
Here we've go.
We've been talking about the deck for 40 minutes. Here's some enchantments. Archetype of Imagination.
This is a creature.
But also an enchantment.
Hey, creatures you control have flying. Creatures your opponents control lose flying and cannot gain flying, and it's a 2/2 for 6.
I love
3/2 for 6.
I'm a big fan of those archetypes.
Yep.
Bear Umbra.
Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, and whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control and totem armor.
So that would be if you kill it, you kill the enchantment instead of the creature.
Yes.
Boom Satyr.
Boon Satyr. This is another one with Bestow.
Yeah.
Bestows for 5 and gives enchanted creature +4/+2, and it is a 4/2, and it has flash.
Neat.
And remember, you can cast it at instant speed because it has flash if you're bestowing it, because that's an alternative casting cost.
Do you let me ask you this question. In your enchantment deck, play backgrounds.
I don't.
Because your commander is a planeswalker.
Yeah, I'm sure that some of them work with planeswalkers as commanders.
But if your enchantment commander is not a planeswalker, you might want to play some backgrounds like Candlekeep Sage.
3-drop, legendary enchantment background. Commanders you control, own. Commanders you own have, whenever this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card.
Neat.
That's a good one.
Celestial Archon.
Bestow for 7. Holy smokes. Flying, first strike. So enchanted creature will get flying or first strike.
Yeah.
+4/+4.
Yeah, and it's a 4/4, so the enchanted creature will also get +4/+4.
Yes.
This is mutate before mutate was mutate.
Yeah.
And then they brought in mutate, and nobody understands how it works, except me. Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Eel Umbra.
This is flash, +1/+1, totem armor. So this saves your guy.
Epic proportions.
Ooh, that is not me in the bedroom. Another flasher. That is me in the bedroom.
There we go.
Enchanted creature gets +1 or +5/+5 and has trample.
Finest Hour.
Definitely not me in the bedroom.
There we go. We're getting there.
Finest Minute. Got there. This is Bant and 2 for Exalted. So whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1.
Yep.
And whenever a creature you control attacks alone, if it's first combat phase of the turn, untap that creature after this combat phase and you get an additional one.
This card is savage when you have an unblockable 1-pump chump commander, which this deck is out to do because it will let you kill 2 people instead of 1.
That's twice as many people.
Right, it's 100% more death.
That's like slaying people in the bedroom.
Here's me in the bedroom, Flaming Fist.
Flaming Fist. Commander creatures you own have, whenever this creature attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn.
Holy mother
Double
of God,
fist.
hey?
Double fist. Do not Google.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to make it now. Octopus Umbra.
I wanted to make a joke too.
Yeah, but we won't.
This has got totem armor, so if your guy would die, he doesn't die. The aura dies. And this sets power and toughness to 8 and 8.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. And it also, what does it do? Taps things.
Oh, yeah.
It also taps things when you attack.
Oh, whenever this creature attacks, you may tap target creature with power 8 or greater. I never even knew that because I just block with it.
Raised by Giants.
Raised by G's. Commander creatures you own have base power and toughness 10/10 and are giants in addition to their other types.
So in total non-bow with Octopus Umbra.
Yeah.
Unless you understand how layering works, and screw that, man.
This falls into I'm playing both for redundancy reasons category.
Yes.
Yes.
Sword Coast Sailor. You notice how it's pronounced the W.
Sword Coast Sailor. Commander creatures you own have this creature attacks a player whenever. If no opponent has more life than that player, this creature can't be blocked.
So if you attack the opponent with the most life, they just eat shit. And they no longer have the most life.
No, they probably have
no life.
No life, yes.
Should be Armadillo Cloak in Unflinching Courage.
I think they're the actual same card.
Duh. No, they are not, because Unflinching Courage gives lifelink, and Armadillo Cloak has, whenever this creature deals damage, you gain that much life.
Oh, so if you have both, you gain that much life, and you get lifelink damage.
That's right.
Yeah, they are different. You're right. +2/+2, trample, and lifelink.
Neat. Vow of Flight.
Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has flying, and can't attack us.
So we could use that on somebody's Blightsteel Colossus or somebody else's big threat if we really, really needed to get rid of them.
Yes, and the same is true for... Is this our last card?
No, 2 more cards after this.
Oh, okay. This is true for the last enchantment, Vow of Wildness, +3/+3 and trample, and cannot attack us or a planeswalker we control.
And the last card, there are 2 of them. They both cost white 2. They both do the same thing. One of them is a creature. It's Heliod's Pilgrim and Idyllic Tutor. Both of them just grab an enchantment from your library, put it into your hand.
Which is totally fine.
Which is what you do in a deck, and that's the deck.
I think that you save those until the very last end of need, where it's like, ooh, I'm going to get my Raised by Giants. So now my 10 power 1/1 is going to be a plus 10 power 10/10. And I'm going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Or you get the one that doesn't let like people block or whatever, right?
Yeah. You just
That's
find
what
whatever
you
you
find.
need to sneak your big commander in and then just beat ass.
Yes.
But here's the deck. And our boy, I forget the name now.
David Hodgkin.
David Hodges' Skin says that the deck, it can get lucky in higher power pods.
Oh, yeah, because you can gank somebody.
And the land base is shitty enough. This is his words, not mine. The land base is shitty enough that it's kind of a little bit slow and dirtily for the lower power pods too.
Yes.
So it fits right in with his play group, but he can also take it out somewhere and play it with basically anyone and not have a non-game.
I think that I would tend to agree. And I'm thinking of my Estrid the Bald deck in that you could just, because these decks want and tend to draw lots of cards because they have enchantresses in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I could just go ham and make 30 mana and hurricane everybody, and I'm at the most life because I've pillow forted and just haven't gotten attacked. But also, I could get the Nylea's Colossus and all of the things that make your guys into tree folks or unblockables or 0/2s or whatever, and just trample over you and ruin your day.
Yep.
And both of those are kind of casual, but I could do it in a way that could be, hey, I have like 12 mana and it's turn 4. I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, whoops.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I could see it kind of swinging with a wide variety of power levels.
And you notice, like, when we talked about this, like, it doesn't play a lot of that enchantment-based removal either.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't play a bunch of the turn it into a tree folk, turn it into a bug. How many times did Brash Taunter get turned into a goddamn bug in Vancouver?
Oh.
Too many.
Like with Darksteel Mutation?
They just kept getting them.
It's funny that he has Indestructible, and Darksteel Mutation also gives him Indestructible.
It just makes him shitty. Oh, man.
so
I tried
fantastic.
so hard to Brash Taunter people and just... Kayla.
Yep.
She learned. Amy and Aaron told her specifically, you see Brash Taunter. If Brando's got it, you need to stop that because he's going to kill you with it.
Yes.
And I was. Oh, was I ever.
Yep.
They stopped me every time.
Well,
Damn Darksteel Mutation, man.
yeah, that's a thing.
I think this is a cool deck. I think it's very indicative of an Enchantress deck. Also, it shows how you can take an archetype that everybody knows and lots of people have played and built because it was really popular when
Theros came out.
But you can go all the way to 11 and do all the, I play an enchantment, I draw 40 cards. You can do that, or you can just
what? This sounds like a little bit of a strengths and weaknesses, and I want to hit you up with some that I thought of because I have a deck, a 3-color Enchantress deck that plays a lot of the same colors.
You play the
cards,
commander
right?
from the pre-con that this commander came from.
Yeah, so wide variety of power levels it will fit in with.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to dial it back. Mm-hmm. Maybe you draw less cards, play less removal, and no fast mana, and you're going to have a casual deck that's going to just beat face.
Yep.
You can dial it up and do the stacks thing or do the pillow fort thing and make yourself utterly invulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's what makes these decks so infuriating is you can pillow fort so effectively and so easily.
I can draw 6 or 7 cards per turn and you can do nothing about it.
Yeah.
and this can all be yours, listener, dear CCO Nationalite. This deck in particular for $139.
That's amazing, right?
Right. So
that's what your average pre-con is, air quotes, worth when you buy it now.
yeah.
Like, that's insane.
So I like this deck for those 2 reasons. I'm going to flip over to a weakness of Enchantress decks. Mm-hmm. They can be hard to play against if they don't have a dedicated win con, so your opponents might not like that.
Yeah.
You might get frustrated if you think that you know the exact card that you need, but you don't have tutors like this deck does, or you don't have enough Enchantresses to rip through your deck quick enough, like this deck doesn't. Yep. You might not be able to find your win con, and you might just be sitting there trying not to die.
Yeah.
So I would always recommend, like, play your 1 tutor or your 2 tutors to find the thing that can close out the game. Because people are going to have a hard time killing this deck, right? And if you can't win or secure the game, it's going to make for a difficult game for your opponents, or one of those like 2-hour slog games, right?
Which, again, I played lots of those in Vancouver.
Yeah, but fantastic, and I love this, and I love this kind of deck, either making like 26 mana on one turn, or 40 mana on one turn, or attacking for 30, 40, 50 on one turn. It can do either of those things.
And it can do all that stuff, and it does it very, very well, and I enjoy that as well. I think that this deck is just really cool, and again, being indicative of something that people sometimes, maybe they'll groan at it. You know what I mean? Some people would look at this deck and go, oh. I'm one of those people. I'll look at an Enchantress deck and go, oh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. You know what, though? Like...
But I'm never going to
as long as you're not coming at me with any of your stuff, I'll probably not enchant any of your stuff so you can still play your game.
Yep.
As soon as anything comes at me, that thing's got to go, right? Yep. So it also, maybe this is a strength, it lets everybody do their thing as long as they're not attacking me.
It does the sit back. It does the if you're first, you're last thing.
Yes.
I think Enchantress decks might be are they the best at that? I think they might be.
Because they pretend that they're last until they win.
Because they pretend that they're last until somebody tries to get them. And it's like, well, but you're not in first. You're not winning, but I can't make you lose. But you're not making me lose.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to get that guy. Like
that's why Magic is fantastic, because it's wonderfully complex like that, right?
I love that stuff. So the archetype itself is on its own like a unique style of gameplay just by itself.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And last strength I got, and then I want to do just an honorary like card of the week thing.
Okay.
People who come from other formats. I'm thinking particularly Legacy of old. Let's say you played let's say you played Legacy like 10 or 12 years ago, and you played Enchantress, Solitary Confinement, and the whole thing, right?
Yep.
And you want to play Commander now, jump right into this deck.
Yep.
Because it not only is it going to give you a good feel for the combat phase politics, in that I can hit you for 10 or 20, and I got to kind of work that. I got to work that angle. Who am I going to hit? Who am I going to leave? Who am I going to block? Right? But also, all of your Legacy Enchantress cards are going to go right into this deck, and you're going to know what to do. You're going to know how to play it, right?
An easy thing to jump from format to format on. I like that too.
I very much like that. And these ones being 3 colors now are going to give you access to the best removal, the best ramp, the best interaction, the best card draw in the format.
And I guess too, this is one of those decks that we kind of make mention of this sometimes. This is one of those decks that's going to get something new every set.
Oh, yeah.
You're always going to have something.
Yeah.
Like you could put a Skrelv's Hive in here if you wanted. You could put a whatever, right? You're going to get new shit all the time.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah. Final thing for me. Final thing for me, and you can get these at FusionGamingOnline.com.
There we go.
Your source for all your Enchantress needs. CCO Slam promo code to get 5% off your whole order, and let everybody at Fusion know that the boys sent you and it's a good deal.
Because it is.
All of the enchantment ramp. Not only just for Enchantress decks, but land destruction, sort of taboo in lots of play groups. Mm-hmm. And artifact destruction, totally not taboo.
Yeah.
So instead of a Soul Ring, maybe I'll play a Wild Growth. Maybe not instead of Soul Ring, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe you play a Wild Growth, you enchant your land, and it taps for 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
And people will leave that alone the whole game. Nobody's going to waste a disenchant on that.
No.
They're going to waste the disenchant on the All That Glitters or the Mirari's Wake and stuff, and leave your mana alone. Same is true for Overgrowth. Same is true for Fertile Ground and Dawn's Reflection. They're going to leave all those land enchantments that give you more mana. They're going to leave them alone.
The only thing that you're going to get caught up with those is when somebody plays those enchantment sweepers, and not enough people play those. Just me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not to say, I'm the one that does that because I'm so smart. It's just I play those because I don't really lean on enchantments real heavy.
Yeah.
So I'll kill them. I don't care.
But you're the only guy.
Yeah, it's just me. Just me, it turns out.
So, great deck. David Hodges skins.
David Hodges skin. I like that.
I like it. Thanks for sending the deck. I like getting the forever decks because we're always confident that they're exactly where somebody wants.
Mm-hmm. They do everything that person wants them to do. And that's cool.
I feel like it's a recurring theme now that we say this deck will fit into lower powered, mid tier, or higher powered, and you could get the nut draw or the jank draw, and you'd still probably be okay in any kind of pod.
Yep.
Because the decks do exactly what you want, and I think the culture of Commander is instilled in these, in that they can just sit down and have fun wherever they go.
Which is what you want your decks to do, and that's why they're the forever decks, right? Like, you can sit down, you're going to have a great time, and it's going to just be cool playing Commander with your buddies or with strangers, and that's where you want to be.
That sounds like a pretty good final thought of the day.
That is a great final thought of the day. So thank you very much for Agent Hodges Skin.
David.
Agent
Hodges
Skin. Thanks for sending this in. Everybody else, keep the decks coming. If you got a forever deck you want us to take a look at, if you want us to take a serious look at it, please don't take the time to type it out in an email, because I don't know what all the cards does, and I don't have time to make a deck list so that I can see what all the cards does. A couple of people have done that. I appreciate all the hard work. Send us a link to the deck list on some kind of deck building site.
Oh, yeah, that's good advice.
Yes, please and thank you. And we're going to take a look at it. We're going to be doing this for a couple more weeks until we get more spoilers from upcoming sets. Ryan's really excited about Lord of the Rings.
Check out the Friday live streams. Lots of fun. Maybe boring if you don't like Lord of the Rings, but everybody that tunes in loves Lord of the Rings, and there's always great discussion.
And if it's your thing, jump on board and have a good time with great people. That's the key. And it's the CCO Nation motto. We're going to do March of the Machines 2 and lots of new stuff, including your decks, on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme